Prince Andrew is set to move out of Royal Lodge next year without receiving nearly £500,000 compensation due to property dilapidation, and may rely on King Charles for financial support. The former prince and his ex-wife Sarah Ferguson are expected to leave the expansive 30-room royal property next year. This follows Andrew being stripped of his royal titles due to ongoing controversy surrounding his relationship with disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. Andrew refutes all allegations against him. Andrew could have pocketed nearly £500,000 for terminating his lease early, but reports suggest that the dilapidated state of Royal Lodge might prevent him from receiving this windfall. Joe Elvin, presenter of Palace Confidential, believes it will be humiliating for Andrew as he will have to rely on an allowance from his brother, King Charles. Rebecca English, the royal editor for the Daily Mail, suggests that the Crown will be looking to knock off a few pounds here or there because no one wants to see public money being paid to Andrew. She stated, "The suggestion is that the entire £500,000 that he could have got back for having to leave his lease early could be swallowed up by the repairs. The truth is we don't entirely know yet because he's still living there and they're trying to assess it while he's there. They almost probably need him to move out before the surveyors can go around and have a proper look. If it was to be swallowed up, it would be quite a happy solution because no one, not the king, not the crown, not the state or anyone wants to see public money being paid to Andrew because that would not be a good look." Andrew was due £488,341.21 for ending his tenancy on October 30, 2026. However, the Crown Estate has indicated he is unlikely to receive any of the money owing to the extensive repairs the property requires. A Crown Estate spokesperson said, "Our initial assessment is that while the extent of end-of-tenancy dilapidations and repairs required are not out of keeping with a tenancy of this duration, they will mean in all likelihood that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor will not be owed any compensation for early surrender of the lease, once dilapidations are taken into account." Before this position can be fully validated, however, a full and thorough assessment must be undertaken post-occupation by an expert in dilapidation. Andrew assumed a 75-year lease for Royal Lodge in 2003. He paid more than £8.5 million to cover renovation costs whilst also paying in advance to eliminate any requirement for rent, based on a notional rent of £260,000 per year. There was also a token peppercorn payment, which the Crown Estate notes is standard practice for long leases where there's an advance payment in lieu of rent. Andrew provided a year's notice to leave Royal Lodge at the end of October, meaning he could theoretically remain at the property until the 30th October 2026. However, reports suggest he may relocate to the Sandringham estate in Norfolk in the new year. Questions remain over how Andrew will finance his lifestyle going forward, raising the prospect that he may depend on his brother's generosity for the remainder of his days. Richard Eden, diary editor at the Daily Mail, commented, "I think all of us would miss £500,000. Remember, in the future he is going to be dependent on the King's generosity. He's going to be living at the King's private estate, Sandringham, and given an allowance by his brother the King. So nice for him to have a bit of your own pocket money." After Joe Elvin described this situation as humiliating for Andrew, Rebecca observed, "We don't know where he's getting his other sources of income from and it sounds like he might have no choice."